What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Ain't no need to do any introduction because if you've been with me for a while, you know exactly who I am. So let's get right on into this video. I guess you can title this video the halfway point of the 2023 season. We are partial of the way till August. Been pretty much cutting since March, so I'll call this my halfway point of the season. I don't, it just depends on where you're at and how the season goes and etc. But a couple of things that 2023 season so far has taught me, and the things that I've implemented so far into the way I run Grant's Lawn Care. I can first off start off by saying I was really disciplined this year when it came to how I handled accepting jobs, rather if it was from clients that dropped me and want to contact me, when it's, convenient for them to want to pay me. I had to go up on the price. You dropped me, but then all of a sudden, when the workload gets a little too much for them to do, here they come calling me. So I disciplined myself a little bit more to I'm not going to be that guy as much as I once was in my prior 2 years, because I feel personally like this. I didn't go up a whole lot on the prices with some, and I get the fact that everybody is I wouldn't say straining for money, but trying to conserve as much money possible. And as a video I watched last season said, when it comes to cutting expenses, the lawn guy can be one of the first people to go. But my thing is, and I can use one house as an example, and then I'll go to the next topic. There's one house that I was dropped from last season because I had to go up on the prices. It was just a business move. Well, I'll get random text messages. Hey, are you cutting? Can you squeeze me in? This, that, and the third. So I'll reply, I'm pretty much tied up. I can try to get to it on XYZ day, which is the truth. So when I get a return text of saying, well, I'll take care of it myself, then okay, that's it. So a couple of days later, I get an alert. Hey, can you come and do this before this day? And I'm like, reading it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not even responding. So this particular property is along my route. So I went by there anyway, just, to see exactly how it's been for the last, year. And it's not been touched by Grant's Lawn Care, I can tell you that. So I went by there and it was kind of thick. So mind you, the second text was like a week later. And I'm like, okay, well, I know it wasn't cut when I last saw it overgrown. So I know it's pretty bad now. So of course it's a corner lot. So what I upped my charges to for this property, I know it would have been a little bit more because it's going to take me a little bit longer because it's overgrown and all of the thick grass that's going to be, in the yard from me cutting and trying to get it back looking good. It's going to take me, probably about 2 hours, literally. Weed eat, go over it more than once to make it look good. There's not a lot of places where you can throw the grass because there's a lot of stuff in the yard. So when I left there, before, it looked like there wasn't anything there. I made sure I did a great job. But now, when I say I disciplined myself, I was like, you know what? I'm not replying to this because what you're going to do is use me for the holiday, because it was right before the holiday. And that would have been it again until another holiday come around or whatever. And of course the heat's high now, so you would rather sock it to me. So I disciplined myself and say, you know what? No, I'm subtracting myself from this because I just don't feel like if you're gonna want me to continue to service your yard, then you can get back on my rotation and just continue to let it be taken care of and not letting it get that bad and you get out there and don't want to finish it yourself or whatever, or trying to call this person and that person to come and do it. I'm more than willing to put you back on my schedule. But the random calls or the random messages, I can't see myself accepting that anymore, because like I said, you'll use me for a moment and then I won't hear from you for a month or two. And then when I'm contacted, that's when, because the grass is, overgrown and it's nasty. So I'm like, no, I don't want to be used for or as that guy. So discipline I learned this year is no, I pick my poison, and that's just not something I want to be feeling in myself, that I'm being, used pretty much. Calling when it's too much. That's just not cutting it with me, because what I was charging back before the prices and everything went ridiculously through the roof, I get it. It was probably a little bit more manageable. But the same way prices and everything went up for you, everything is, pretty much double or triple for me. I was talking to somebody online a couple of days ago, and I was like, people don't realize that, yeah, there's electric equipment out there, but I'm a gas guy. So the price of gas to run a 5-gallon tank lawnmower, a 5-gallon spare gas can, a 2.5-gallon mixed gas can, oil, mixed oil for the gas, gas for your vehicle just to go up and down the road. It is pretty much expensive, and I'm sorry, I have to charge enough to not only cover any repairs or any, downfalls of my business, but I also have to have the money and income coming in also for bills and everything else. This is just, the lawman's charging so much money and this, that, and the third. No, this is pretty much how a lot of us make our living, doing this. Being an entrepreneur is far from easy, and when it comes to feeling like, somebody's just trying to overuse your business, which I've heard on another channel, I believe it was Kingdom's Lawn Care, people will run your business if you let them, and he had to put some things into order to stop that and cut some people off. So I exactly understand now from listening to his video exactly what he meant, and I just refuse to allow that to happen, from this year going forward, because running a business now that I've been in it 3 years is not easy. You got so much that you got to keep up with when it comes to making sure your finances are in order, which is common, making sure that, the bills to keep the business running is in order. There's so much that goes into it, and if it's not for you, you will find out very quickly. So just keep that in mind. I guess long story ending now is discipline. I've learned good discipline when it comes to what jobs I accept, and reading between the lines of how clients and even ex-clients are, their mindset. I'm going to call you when it's more convenient for me, but the workload for you is going to be double. But you should be thankful that I still consider you, is the way I'm kind of taking it. So discipline is one main thing that I've learned so far, for sure, in 2023. So I hope that makes sense. Sit back and continue to watch, and I'm going to close the video out in just a second. And guys and girls, last thing I want to leave off on this video, I guess you might as well say is, yeah, it'll be a couple lessons learned there, but anyway, ran into my very first, I would say, Karen on the job. I was passed on a job. Somebody wanted me to take care of a good bit of shrubs and cleaning a fence line and removing some old trees and etc. I was like, okay, yeah, well, I'll come out and take a look at it. I can't give you a price off the top of my head because I don't know exactly how long it's going to take me. So of course you're going to also inquire when you go there everything that they want done, and you're going to pretty much have a semi-close guess on how much time it's going to take you. Well, I went out, looked at the job, told him I'll be back a specific day to start the job, get it taken care of, and so the work began. The very first day took right at 4 hours. All of my battery powered equipment at that time was pretty much tanked out. It was done for. I was done for. It was hot and muggy. Not even a breeze to even keep you cool. So, when you're cutting a large amount of shrubs, when you're cutting a large amount of, overgrowth, and you're having to rake it up and put it on a tarp and move it out the way and rake it some more, blow at it with the best you can with the blower, just trying to, neaten up things, going a little bit above and beyond on what the customer wanted. Because, you want to leave a good job. Therefore, if they need you for something else, hello, they got your phone number, right? You got your contact information. Well, I started this job one day, like I said, 4.5 hours in. I was explained by a particular person, hey, they had someone that used to do this. And, this was, I can't remember exactly the reason why they ain't did it anymore. And, I was explained by them that, they also had someone that already cut the lawn. I was like, okay, that's cool. So my main agenda from that person was all of the overgrowth, the shrubs, the bushes, the removal of the trees from the fence line, etc. I was like, okay. So got day one done, 4.5 hours. I started right at 6 o'clock. Stopped at right at about, I think it was, might as well to say 11:55, because I had to stop and go and do something else. And like I said, my battery powered equipment was done for, and for some reason or another, my charging area in my truck, my plug, like it blew out, and I checked it, the fuse wasn't blown. But anyway, off topic. Told the person, hey, I'm not gonna be able to finish today. Power of my equipment is done for. I'll be back, not the next day, but the following day to get it finished up, because I want to wrap it up pretty much in a day's worth of time, just split between 2 different days. Well, on the second day, lo and behold, got there again right at 6 o'clock. They knew I was there. The dog already was barking, alerting them, hey, somebody's on the yard. I'm out there doing my job. I got done, and when it came to giving them the total, that's when everything came out. Oh, the person who did all of this before for me, they charged me this, and they charged me that, and you told me this, and you told me that. And so I went on to explain. I was like, look, I was here pretty much for 7 hours. I was here 4 hours the first day. It took me 3 hours to finish doing everything I had to do. I was like, I couldn't tell you a confirmed price in the beginning, because it is hard to tell someone how much something's going to cost when you haven't even began the work yet, and the time and effort and everything else that you have to do. Well, this ain't how you supposed to run a business, and this ain't how this is supposed to be. I ain't never had anybody charge me like this. And I'm this and I'm that. And, usually people have a breakdown on how they do things. Just for the future, for your business. Mind you, I just told you earlier, people's going to tell you how to run your business. But for your business, you could do it this way. That'll save you this, that, and the third. Now, mind you, in the beginning, I already showed you a project. I like to go out and show people projects that I've already done in the past, because, hey, I'm showing you I'm capable of doing the job that you want to. I take a bunch of pictures and videos and show, hey, this is what you're going to pretty much get in a similar way, this is the work I do, and I do it all by myself. That was one thing that slapped me in my face. If you knew you was going to accept the job, you should have went out and got some help, and this, that, and the third, and yada, yada, yada. So at this point, I'm going back, explaining, hey, this is why, look at how much time I was here, and look at all the equipment I use, and, you're telling me I did such a great job, you did such a great job, but this is what really started it. But why didn't you cut the grass? People are going to come to my yard, and they're going to see all of the bushes and all of the trees and everything removed and shaped up and looking good, and they're going to look out there and say, well, why your grass not cut? And I'm like, you never mentioned anything to me about grass other than you already have someone that cuts your grass. That's not what I was inquired and called to do. I was called to do shrub work. Well, I thought you would have looked up there and seen that the grass needed cutting, and you would have went ahead and take care of that, because nobody wants to drive by, come by, and they see the trees and the shrubs and everything looking good, but the grass is overgrown and this and the third. I'm like, yet again, the grass was not in what we talked about. I was like, you told me that y'all had someone that cuts the grass, so therefore my job was strictly what we talked about on the phone. If you wanted me to cut your grass after the fact of all of that, it would have been no problem. I would have brought my stuff the very next day and took care of the grass. Well, again, here we go. I thought, you would have just looked, anybody who does this type of work, I figured they were looking, just go ahead and do something, that looks like it needs to be done. Number of times I've told you, you told me that you had someone cut your grass. I'm like, that is not what I was called for. Well, this is how I feel you should do it in the future. You don't want to go and do this and then you leave something, looking like it's half done. I'm like, well, in the first place, I said you had a number of ways to contact me if you wanted the grass cut on top of the bushes. I said, if you had to contact me and tell me, in advance, I would have been able to come out and get all that taken care of. It wouldn't have been any problems. Well, this and the third. So, for about 15-20 minutes, the conversation was back and forth. I ain't never had this price charged to me, and the other person this and the other person that. So, at this point, I'm kind of just quiet. I've explained myself to you. I explained how Grant's Lawn Care, I operate and charge and run my business. So, by this time, I'm sitting there quiet. I got my arms, pretty much folded. I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna let you vent and get it all out, and say what you got to say. So therefore, you just talking now. Everything you saying is going in one ear and out the other. So finally, after about 25 minutes of going back and forth over and over and over, I was at the point of doing one or two things. Saying, here, free of charge, I don't want this money, you can keep it, I'll take this one on the house, because I'm not going to stand here any longer and listen to you pretty much try to tell me how I need to operate something. That's not finna happen with me, not this year, maybe year one, because I wasn't experienced in, standing up for myself as a business owner and telling people, X, Y, Z. So finally, after all the back and forth with me, to the point where I just stopped talking and let you just continue to vent, the check was signed and given to me, and we talked, and that was it. So what am I saying when I tell you this long story? Guys and girls, you go out here, you do work, even if you tell somebody a price up front, these people will pull an amnesia game, or pull a you didn't contact me game or whatever, when you had my number, you had another person's number who referenced you to me, and you text. I have the text messages saved. You have 3 different ways to contact me: phone call, text message, or the person that referenced you to me. Not one time did you mention, before I came back that last day, did you want your grass cut? Because like I said, I would have did it. All you had to do is let me know, hey, would you mind touching the grass? All of this back and forth to me about, well, you ain't even did the backyard, this, you never told me anything about the backyard. You told me and showed me on day one when we walked around what, where, how you wanted everything done. I did everything that you told me to do, everything that you didn't tell me to do was not done because it was not made aware to me. So here's what I'm saying to end this long video. When you go out and you price jobs and you pretty much you can get like a wrenchy feeling inside about certain people. Take notes. Take a paper and pencil. Take your phone out with your notes out. If you gotta record it on voice record, do it, because people, not everyone, and I'm not saying this, as a all, but there are a lot of people out here that will want to get over on you and fast talk you and make you start second guessing how you operate your business. And when they back you in that corner, it's pretty much too late, because now you could be hesitating. You could be like, darn, I don't want to lose this business, or I don't want them to give me a bad name. I don't want, a bad reputation or whatever from this one person. Like I just said, one person. They may not like the price you charge. They may not like the way you run your business. I guarantee you, with the rest of the population in your town, in your state, that one person won't amount to the 10 or 20 plus people that will accept and understand your running of your business. These people that, want to take the cheapest ride out and, want to just, get a whole lot of work done for a cheeseburger meal from McDonald's, price charge, that's not happening. So make sure when you're out here doing this work, please stand firm on what you have already assembled in your business. Now, if you're brand new, you're still figuring out. You're figuring out your area, you're figuring out your demographics, you're figuring out which neighborhoods you want to take on, you're figuring out which projects you want to take on, whether if it's just regular grass cutting or whether if it's full-blown landscape. It's a difference in it. Do your research and figure out why I'm saying it's a difference in it. When you're doing this stuff, when you go out here to get ready to start your business, get with veterans who you've seen doing this for a long time. Get some advice from them. Watch plenty of YouTube videos from the channels that are showing you the ups and the downs, not just positives and don't want to take you through the ringer. Watch these channels that's explaining to you the bad days just as well as the good days, and not just showcasing everything. Because I'm telling you, once you get out here and become an entrepreneur and run your own business and figure out, okay, dealing with people, some people are just great. You get your pay and you're going about your day. Then you get these other people that, they act like you pulling teeth when you charge them what you're charging them if they accept the job. If you want to save yourself the stress and the headache, as soon as somebody gives you a red flag of, that's kind of high, then look, we don't have to go much farther. With all due respect, with this conversation, if it's too high, then I'm going to let you know right now, that's my price. And if it's something else extra that has to be done just to make sure the job is 100% complete, then I'm not the service provider for you. And tell them thank you for considering you, and just go ahead and leave, because we're in a world now where people want great work and only be charged $2.50. Let me be clear, and that's not going to run a lawn care business. It's not going to keep gas in your car or your truck. It's not going to keep your lawnmowers and your weed trimmers and all of that, full of gas or full of electricity charge, because you got to pay the electric bill, you got to pay gas bill when you go to the fuel pumps to keep your equipment running. You can't do it, guys. My thing is, and I'm going to wrap this video up because I've stretched it out longer than I thought I have. Stand firm. Research your business. Research prices. Talk with some veteran people in your area. Watch these YouTube channels. Watch a lot of the smaller channels, because like I said, the smaller channels, you get so much support from the smaller channels. I'm telling you, the God honest truth, you get so much support from the smaller channels. And you can see the larger channels commenting on just certain people's channels and liking their pictures. And I had to tell myself, okay, that's cool. That's cool. I know what I'm doing, the little bit of social media I am doing. I just had a recent conversation about 2 weeks ago with somebody that they pretty much told me they look up to me. They enjoy my content. Keep doing what you're doing. And this guy is younger than me. So thank you guys for the support from the ones that's truly supporting the channel and showing love, hitting the thumbs up, subscribing to the channel, learning from me just as well as I'm learning from you, and making this YouTube journey very, very well worth the ride. So without further ado, guys, I hope this video gives you some insights and some pretty much, mindset to take into implementing in your business for the rest of 2023 and so forth and so on. I still have a lot that I'm going to be learning and adjusting, prices, routes, everything like that, and I'm still learning. But without further ado, guys, please take notes from this video. If anything stands out to you, I appreciate it. If you're just now finding the channel, if you enjoy this, check out some of the other videos. I'm out of here. Like I say, I'm not going to even do an exit intro. Catch y'all on the next one. Y'all stay safe out there and get to it.